Hello students, welcome to Avision SSC Bank exams. I'm Sneha ma'am and today I'm back with the second part of subject verb agreement. As I have repeated in the last video as well, that subject verb agreement is one of the vital topics from your exam because I have seen almost 5 to 10 questions each year asked from subject verb agreement, and the kinds of questions that are usually asked are sentence reconstruction and error detection. So you need to know the basics of usages, rules, examples, the exceptions, everything before you sit for your exams. And for this purpose, I would again repeat, like I do in all the videos, that you have to check out the previous videos if you haven't yet done that, like verbs, tenses, as I have already said, which you have to do, because these topics are the advanced topics: subject, verbs, then voices. Few days back I finished voices. Few days back, last week, or I think 10 days back, I have done tenses. So those are the important topics, no doubt, but they stand on the pillars of some other topics like verbs, like parts of speech, like sentences, kinds of sentences. These are the basics that you have to go through, both from your books and also take help from the videos that I'm making, from the examples and whatever explanation I'm talking about. I'm trying to explain you with as many as examples and kinds of examples as possible. So let's continue with the second part of subject verb agreement today, and at the end, after I finish saying about this, I will like to repeat a bit about yesterday's rules so that you don't forget, because always remember, subject verb agreement is kind of a big topic. I mean, you can't, memorize all the rules. It's not possible for you to memorize all the rules, and you should not memorize also. What you should do is to understand the logic behind that. Why is it being used? Why such and such a rule is used? And the exceptions. I would like to emphasize that most questions are asked not from the rules but from the exceptions. Okay? What from the exceptions, because what students do is to ignore the exceptions and they straight away jump into the example and basic rules. Okay, I know all this topic, but there are some big mistakes they are making to ignore the exceptions. Okay, so today let's start off. Yesterday, as I did with the singular verbs, like where do we usually use singular verbs, today I would like to do the same about plural verbs. And there are not many rules about plural verbs, just a few. And after that, I would repeat about yesterday's rules so that we just remember everything. Okay, so that everything is on your fingertips. You can recall each and every rule as soon as you see your questions and correctly solve that. Okay, so the first rule about plural verbs, what do they say? It says when two singular nouns are joined by and, okay, joined by and, they require a plural verb. Me, you and me, he and she, like this. Gold and silver, fire and water, father and mother, he and Rahul, all these. Both are singular nouns, right? But they are joined by and. So, two, it is becoming two people, right? We are talking about more than one. So, that is why we are using plural verbs over here. Gold and silver are precious metals. Gold and silver are precious metals. So gold is singular, silver is singular, but they are being joined by n. And when we talk about more than one, we use a plural verb which is are. We use is only for a singular noun. Okay. When we are talking about one topic, one person, one thing, one subject, But when it is two, we use a plural verb like are. Fire and water are totally opposite. Fire is one, water is one, joined by and, so we use are. Both his father and mother were at home. Father, mother, both are singular but joined by and, so it becomes more than one, one and two, right? Two people we are talking of. So were is the past tense but plural. Plural past tense be verb. Okay, it is the plural of was, and this is why I keep repeating that please watch out video on verbs, tense, everything, because see, everywhere you have to know about verbs and you can't ignore that. So this is it. Okay, he and Rahul are going to London to pursue their degree. He is one person, Rahul is another person, both joined by and, are going to London, because it's two people we are talking of, and are going to London. Okay, and when you watch the video on verbs, I have tried to classify each of them very thoroughly. I have specifically concentrated on modals basically, but and also the helping verbs also I have tried to talk about, and later on I'll just make another video on main verbs that also will be very important. So what is the rule till now that we have learned? That a singular noun when joined by and, it becomes two people, right? Two things it becomes. So when we talk about two things, we use a plural verb. This is simple. But here comes an exception, an important exception which you can't ignore. And I pray that please pay attention and remember this exception, okay? Because these are the places where people make the mistake. See, often there are two nouns which are joined by and no doubt they both are singular. It's all proper. But here comes the thing, the idea is single. What does that mean? The meaning is singular meaning. They don't denote separate items. They do not denote plural things. Okay. The subject is, they are using two nouns basically, but their subject is the same, because the meaning of those two nouns combined gives of a single idea. For example, time and tide waits for none. Okay. For example, bread and butter is what he loves the most. Bread and butter, not are. We are not using are. But here, what is the logic? I'll just explain. See, bread is a noun, butter is a noun also. I know that according to the basic rule, when we talk about two nouns, we use are. Bread and butter are what he loves the most. Okay. But no. What is the meaning? The meaning is food. Here, bread and butter is a whole thing, because we consume butter only with bread, right? Basically, what the normal norm or the usual norm, what I'm talking about is we consume butter with bread only. So they together make a whole food. So that is why the idea is of a single food. So it will be his, is. It will be is what he loves the most. Time and tide waits for none. So here also the same logic. Time and tide together is denoting time. It is together denoting time. Or yeah, this is the basic thing. Time is what it means. So we are using weights. We are dealing it with the idea that it is a single item. The idea is a single idea. Honor and glory has little value these days. Means it is together we are talking of honor and glory, not a separate item. Together, honor and glory. Hmm. These are the things, important exception that you have to remember, that even if often there are two nouns, see, gold and silver, they are two different, they are different nouns. Okay, they are two different nouns. That is why it is a plural idea. Gold is different, silver is different. Water, fire, different. Father, mother, different. But bread and butter is related. Bread and butter conveys a single idea because we consume it together, right? Honor and glory are together. They are not separate from each other. Time and tide also same thing. Concept is similar. Both denotes to time, because tide is also related to time and period, like this. This is what it means. Time and tide waits for none. So that this is a proverb. So this, that is why we are using a singular verb over here. That is an important exception that you have to remember, that you should remember. Okay, the second is none, also takes a plural verb. Okay, none are so careless as those who have decided to ignore. So, none means out of all, no one. Okay, so none. None takes a plural verb always. Cows are the most gentle of animals, none are like them. So, that is an important thing. And from yesterday's yesterday's singular rules which I did, let's repeat some of them and then I will come back to this. Hmm. Yesterday, out of yesterday's rule, what was that? We must agree, the must agree with the subject in number and person, right? So I have told you that even if, see, this mangoes, mangoes is a what? Is a plural noun, right? Plural noun. This is a plural noun. Yet we are using was. But why? Why are we using was? The reason is mangoes is not the subject, and the verb must always agree to the subject and not the noun. Mangoes is the noun. But what is the subject? Quality of noun. See, this is itself singular. So why should we use a plural verb? The verb must agree with the subject and not the noun. That is why even if the noun is plural, we will use a singular verb if the subject is singular. If our subject is singular. Verb, sub, and not noun. N-O, not noun, but only subject. If it is singular, singular, then singular. If it is plural, then plural. Okay, no difference. Even if we are using mangoes, we will use was, just because the subject is singular. The subject is not mango, subject is quality of mangoes. And this is a big mistake which students make. This is also called the error of closeness, because what is close to the verb? What is close? Noun is close, right? Noun is the closest. Mango is closest to that. Yet the verb will not agree to that. No, we will not agree to the noun, only the verb, only the subject. State of affairs, together, singular subject. That is why. Sub. Hmm. The result of global warming are alarming. So, together, see. Here the situation is totally reverse. Global warming is a singular noun. See, singular noun. Yet we are using are only because the subject now is plural subject. It is a plural subject. Plural subject. The results of global warming. So itself it's plural. We are using are. Number two is when a plural noun joined with a singular noun by with as well as we will use a singular verb. Why? Because I will only look at the first noun, not the second one which is attached with a with with as well all this. No, I will ignore this. I will totally ignore this. This we will not look at. We will simply look at, we will almost put that in a bracket in order to do it properly. Okay, we will just look at the first noun. House was unharmed by the fire. The mayor has to be presented. The ship sank in the ocean. It is included within that the second portion is attached to it. Okay, with as well as, but no, we will only deal with the first noun. The second one is when we have or, nor, either, neither, each, everyone, many are, we will use a singular verb. Okay, we will use a singular verb. No nook or corner was left unchecked. Our unhappiness or our sorrow. Because what is meant by or? That this or this, either of them, right? That is why our subject is anyway this any one only, right? We are dealing with only one thing. It's just that it is written there, but our happiness or our sorrow, any one of them we will be dealing with. So that is why is same with either, neither. Either means me or this other person. Neither means not me or nor this other person. No one of us. So, and mania also. Mania boy loves to play cricket. So, the same logic goes. But the thing is that one thing which you need to keep in mind is this portion, which is kind of an exception, you can also say. Exception. Huh? Exception, what is it? That the verb must agree with the nearest noun. What is the nearest noun? I. See, what is the nearest noun? He. Nearest noun is he. That is why it will agree to that. Either he or I am mistaken. Either you or he is mistaken. Often you will be, in fact, this is the portion that you can expect questions from here, because what will they give you is either he or I is mistaken, right? You often, even while talking in English, we often make this kind of mistakes. But since while talking it doesn't count and we don't pay attention, but you should not do. You should know the rule. But anyway, what is the thing is either he or I is mistaken. This is the usual one. Because first you are using he, but that is totally the opposite of the rule. The rule is the verb will agree to the nearest noun, the last noun or pronoun. Like I, that is why am. So the best way is to avoid these kind of mistake is to write he is mistaken or else I am. This is the best sentence you can write out of this. The meaning is also same and you're not making any mistakes. But just for the sake of this topic and exercise, I will tell you that always know the verb will agree to the last noun, to the nearest pronoun or noun that is near it. Okay. And the exception out of this is if by any chance one of the noun is plural, like this one, neither the director nor his members. See, this is a plural one. Members, a plural noun, right? Director is singular. Director is a singular noun. Only one of them is plural. That is why our verb has also become plural. Our plural verb. Hmm. Plural. Neither director nor his members were present. So, were present. It's a plural word because members is plural. One noun is plural. Either, in fact, the last noun, the nearest noun itself is plural. No, this is the nearest noun. Same here, friends is the nearest noun. That either he or his friends are going to the party. Same thing. Either or are going to the party. So this is it. But and the last thing to repeat is name of subjects. You already know name of games, name of subjects, games. These are the ones which will always be singular. Okay, and also some words like news, latest news. It's a singular word. When there is a collective noun, what will it be? I've told you that pay attention on the meaning. Always pay attention to the meaning. If the meaning tell you that okay, it is a different, they are talking of different individuals, that means we are denoting they are not being a committee, because they are not being together, because a collective noun is what? A collective noun means they denote a collection. But a sentence like the committee are divided on its opinion, what do you immediately think of? That all the members, even if there are 10 members, they are having 10 or 5 opinions, right? So they are not behaving as a collective unit. That is why we are using are, because here we are indicating towards the individual opinions. Whenever we are whatever we are indicating, we will be using that kind of a verb. If we are indicating that okay, it's a committee, it's a together they are working, submitted its work, so they have worked together. But divided on its opinion means they are having different opinions, they are having individual opinions. That is why it is a plural verb. But and returning with on our today's topic, this thing whatever I was left with, in continuation with that, yesterday whatever I just repeated, remember this, that often there are proper nouns which are plural, like the Arabian Nights. What is it? It is the name of a book, right? A classical book. A classic book, often children also read and adults also read. So there are different kinds of stories in it. Arabian Nights is a plural noun, a proper noun. So, but yet we are using a singular verb. Why? Because it is a single book. Because it is a single book. The name is Arabian Nights. That does not mean that we are talking of plural things. A plural noun is a proper noun. If it is a proper noun, that means it's a single object, like the United States. What does that mean? Does it indicate that there are various states? No. It indicates that single country called the US. It's a single one country, right? So that is why the US has a large army. Has, singular. Singular. Gulliver's Travels is taught in MA classes of English. Again, Gulliver's Travels is a novel. So, but travels, if you see S, don't get confused and immediately jump to the conclusion that okay, this is a plural noun. It can be a proper noun. These are all proper nouns. And what are proper nouns? I have already told that in the introduction video of parts of speech, and also noun and numbers I have told. So go back to that. If you have confusions, check out that video and clear your concepts. I won't repeat it anywhere. So this is the thing. The proper nouns proper names of particular names of place and books. So Gulliver Travel is a particular book, that is a single book, that is why a singular verb. Same with US, single one country, singular verb. Arabian Nights, same. Acha. The next one is when the plural noun denotes a specific amount, the verb is singular. The amount is specific. For example, take 15 minutes is allowed to each of the speaker. Why? Why do we say like this? Minutes is plural, so according to that logic, we should be using 15 minutes are allowed. But the thing is, it is denoting a specific quantity of 15 minutes. And also, this 15 minutes is a whole thing, right? This is together. This is a total time of each people. That is why we are using a singular verb. Whenever we are denoting a specific amount with that noun, we will be using a singular verb. 10 kilometers is a long walk. 10 kilometers is a long walk. So 10 kilometers is a specific amount. It's a specific amount of distance. 10-15 minutes is a specific amount of time duration. That is why our verb is singular. And that is together also. A whole thing, a whole distance, a whole time. 50,000 rupees is a large sum. That same thing. Okay. 50,000 rupees. So, even if rupees is plural, 50,000 rupees is plural thing, yet that is a whole unit. That is a together unit, okay? That is why we will be using a plural noun, a plural verb. Specific amount of money. This is money. This is distance. This is time. These are the three things. These are the three things. Whole things. Basically, so the out of all of the rules what you have read is where are we using plural? When we talk of more than one people, Ram and Shyam, Sita and Gita, me and my brother, me and my friend, father and mother, two people, two different people. But when we denote a single idea like bread and butter, see they are together. Bread and butter, we consume it together. Time and tide. The words are two. Noun are two, no doubt. Like Rita and Gita, two nouns, time and tide. But the concept is singular. Because time and tide together means time itself. Time or period like this. In the bigger picture of time. Now we say that time and tide waits for none. These are the things. So that is an exception over there. So basically you use plural when you're talking of two nouns, two separate people and nouns, common or proper, whatever. Gold, silver are are proper nouns because proper metals, actually material nouns, whatever. And also none. When we are using none, we are using a plural verb. Number two. Number three is when we have a plural noun nearest to the verb and they are connected with either the manager or the directors, either me or my friends, either my father or his cousins. See, the second noun is plural, so we are using a plural verb. Are, were, these. Hmm. These are the three points of plural usages on the whole. If you see, if you also include exceptions within that, and apart from that, mostly I think we are all using singular verbs, right? So for today this is enough. We have finished about talking of subject verb agreement, and we have come to the end of this topic. Next day, tomorrow, we will be continuing with another topic. Let's see what will that be. And till that time, I request you all to first clear your basic concepts like tenses, like verbs, like parts of speech, and then come up to topics like voice, subject verb agreement, all of this, so that you can practice from your previous year questions and you can properly write that. Okay, thank you.